Give me 1 second. Can you see me?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. I was looking a video about greetings in English. About hello, how are you? Fine, and you? Fine. people people ever says the same thing, no? Like in Spanish.
Yeah, it's just formalities.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, and how are you?
I'm good. I'm just tired. I don't know if you see my face differently, but I was napping before this meeting because I had to wake up very early today. And um, yeah, I just woke up.
Yes, yes. Do you study math? Yes?
Math.
No? What do you
Um,
study?
what classes am I seeing this semester? Is that what you're asking?
No. About the career.
I'm not sure I'm
A
understanding.
degree for a
Uh,
specific degree?
before,
No, now.
I'm doing a bachelor in teaching English.
Ah, okay, okay. And you are in second, fourth semester?
Sec second semester.
Second semester. And what do you think about this career?
I don't know. I mean, I have never actually planned to be a teacher. I've never liked being a teacher. Um, so I think it's about the process that I've been going through my life. So I started after I left high school. I went to college to get a bachelor in finance.
Hmm.
Uh, but it was an engineering. So like, what is it? I don't remember the name. Um, it was like an engineering in accounting and balance or financing or
Ah,
something,
like an
something.
accountant? Accountant? No?
Yeah, but not an
Different?
accountant. It was an engineering.
Oh,
So the name in Spanish was, I don't even remember. Uh,
financial
uh,
engineering?
yeah, financial engineering. That
Like this? Oh.
and I didn't like it, so in the third semester I switched careers to computers engineering, and
Mm.
I almost finished. Um, but I think when I was in sixth semester, I figured out that even though I liked computers and technology and stuff, I didn't really want to become an engineer. And I started applying to get into Universidad de Antioquia for translations. I started applying for languages translation. So the career is just 4 years, and they teach you how to translate from Spanish to English, or Spanish to French, or English to French, and it's three main languages. Um, by that time, the career was very popular, so I was competing against like 1,600 students, and the spots available were always 15.
Mm-hmm.
So the score that you need to get in the test was very high, and I never reached it. It's like trying to get into a medicine school. You know, here in Medellin is very popular, so a lot of people come from different cities and try to apply, and it's difficult to get in. But medicine, for example, had like 150 or 170 spots, and translations was also only 15. So I said like, okay, whatever. I'm not just no. I presented the test like 6 times and I never passed. So I said like,
Oh
okay,
my God.
so this is it. I'm not applying anymore. I'm just gonna start working. So I started working as a software developer. I have been working as customer care, support assistance, remote support. Um, and 3 years ago, I found this company which I'm working right now. And it was a new thing. So it was home automation stuff. I didn't know anything about home automation. I started learning with the company. I started giving support. So it was on the phone, answering phone calls, um, with customers that had the devices, and trying to teach them how to do it. And then I started escalating in the company. I learned a lot of things. I started working as a team leader, so I wasn't taking phone calls anymore. And when we first met you, I told you that I was going through a transition.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, they were actually giving me the management position. So it's been like crazy. But last year I decided like, hey, you're 31 now, so you need to study something. You're not even an engineering. You're you're actually being lucky, like you're getting these positions and you don't have a degree, so you need to finish something. And the only thing that came to mind was going into a bachelor in teaching. That probably can give me an advantage when applying for a master's in translating or something like that. So
Okay.
that's my goal. My goal is not become a teacher.
Because for be this translator, you can present a test in Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores.
Hmm.
And according to the result, you can obtain a certification.
Yeah, but
It's easier, no?
I I mean it could be easier, but I've been told that the test is created so not all the people can pass, because there's these kind of job that gives a lot of money,
Hmm.
and the people that are already certified as translators and the ones that are managing these positions, they don't really want a lot of people being translators. So they're creating a test so not everybody can get it or can pass through the test, and no one is actually being certified because they don't want to open like the plazas and allow people to make this kind of money, because then other people will start looking for them since there are not many translators, you know. It's just something that I was told. It may not be true, so it could be easy. Um, but I still need a degree, you know. So
Obviously, yes, yes, yes. You must work for your degree. Is the most important thing at it. Time passed so fast.
yes, and as I said, I mean, life is giving me opportunities, and that not everybody can get when they don't have a degree, you know. Some companies will tell you like, okay, you're good for this part, but you don't have a degree, so I'm sorry, you know. So it's sad, but luckily I've been getting these positions and trust in people in the companies. I guess I'm just a really good worker. So
Yes, and you can besides you can combine two activities.
yeah, no, and actually, I mean, I was worried because this is a technology company. They of course want to have engineers and masters in engineering and things like that, or maybe management, business, careers, or things like that. And when I told them that I was studying um, a bachelor in teaching English, they were like, okay. But actually, this can help us. I mean, maybe you can start teaching your people how to do things, and probably that's why you are being listened by the guys, because you probably have a touch on doing that. So this
Hmm.
actually is good. Okay.
Yes, that sounds very good.
Yeah,
Yes.
so yeah, it's been good, but
Yeah.
we're working for it. It's just I'm so tired.
Yes. I understand. Okay, Jonathan. Today's topic is video games.
Okay.
Okay. I looked for information about video games and I realized the evolution that video games have had during the last 30 years is impressive. And
Mhm.
nowadays, mm, the images are more realistic.
Correct.
Even video games seems, for me, like movies because they have a script, defined characters, soundtrack,
Hmm.
specific places, and develop a story.
Hmm.
Uh, for me, it was wonderful, marvelous. It's another kind of vision of the world. Very
Hmm.
interesting for me. Was very interesting. Um, and I want that you share with me your experience with video games because I know you like it. But first of all, I want that you answer the following questions.
Hmm.
A ver, do you like to play video games? How often do you play video games? What kind of video games do you play?
Okay, I do like playing video games. I've been playing video games like I think I started playing video games when I was like 8 or 9. So it's been a journey. um, how often it depends. So if I'm working and studying as I'm doing right now, I don't usually play that much. Maybe when I'm just tired and I see that, or I feel like my head is not helping me, for example, when resolving math problems. So I'll just disconnect from school and work and go and play video games so I can relax a little bit. Um, but I can spend like if I don't have anything to do on a weekend, I can spend like 14 hours playing straight.
14?
For,
14?
like I just wake up and start playing. Yes, for 14 hours. I would let's say that on a Saturday I wake up at 10 p.m. Sorry, at 10 a.m. and I start playing video games, and I will be shutting down my console around 2 in the morning. So it's 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. and then 4 more hours. So I can spend all day playing video games. I don't go out. I just stop to go to the bathroom and eat something and keep playing video games. So, um, but it depends. I don't spend a lot of time always playing video games.
Yeah.
The kind of games. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Continue. Don't worry.
Okay, the kind of games that I like. I actually like a lot of different types. So right now I'm playing the one that I'm playing the most is called Overwatch. This is a shooting game, but behind the shooting game, there's a story. So there's like these superheroes here, and the villains on the other hand. So Overwatch is a group of characters that is trying to take care of people, and each of these characters have a special power. But the
Hmm.
villains, of course, they have superpowers or one special power, and there's a fight between them. So the background story is Overwatch being discontinued because people started seeing them as a threat, and they are trying to regain their name, like showing people that they're actually working for them and not against them. But the villains are making it impossible for them to regain their name, you know? So they're finding contacts in different countries, trying to show that Overwatch is not good for people, and the government is covering things up. And um, things like that. But the main game is shooting. So you can choose any character from the list of characters. You can switch it afterwards if you want. And there are three different kind of games. So it's score the payload. So there's a little card that you have to move from point A to point C, and the defending team has to protect the payload to be moved. So you have to kill people to. If there's one person on the payload, then the payload is not going to move. So no one from the defending team can be on the payload, so it can move. And you're shooting people, trying to kill them, trying to score the payload, and that's it. The other one is capturing point A and then point B, and the other one is capturing point A and scoring the payload. So there are different maps, and it's an online game. So it's always 6 versus 6, and the system will find automatically a match. Um, that's the main shooting game I'm playing. I also like Call of Duty, which is, I mean, the history is more extensive. They've been in the market for like 10 years, so people play it a lot. I also like adventure games, and one of the most amazing games that I've played for the past 20 years is Tomb Raider. So I don't know
Mhm.
if you know who Lara Croft is.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so I have all the Tomb Raider games, and actually the last game that came out, it's amazing because it's set up in the Amazonian jungle. So you have to go to Peru, you have to go to Brazil, um, you have to go into the indigenous parts of the jungle and find people to help you. You have to fight against leopards, lions, tigers. You have to kill people to survive. It's actually amazing. And now that you were talking about how impressive you were with video games because they're actually a movie, it is a
Mhm.
movie. So basically, they're just creating a movie that you interact with. You
Mhm.
have to move the character and find out a way to solve the puzzles. You know, there's a lot of puzzles on the game, and you need to figure out how to solve them so you can move forward. uh, and the scripts, people actually get paid for this. The voice characters, it's a very popular career in the United States, for example, because they go to studios and they get like dots in their faces and they're being recorded. So when they
Mhm.
talk, the character starts talking, and they actually are the people who brings these characters to life, and it's very interesting knowing these people. Like for example, there's this character in Overwatch that I follow the person that brought life to the character, and she is so amazed because she was a trying actor. Like she was going to try to get a role, and then she was explaining that she was being told that she was too Latin American, that her face wasn't white enough, that she wasn't good for the role. And when she got casted to be the voice of Sombra in Overwatch, and the game exploded and it was so popular in the community, people started trying to find the voice actors, and she figured that out. And I was like, oh my god, this is so impressive because I mean, I got famous because of a game. I never did any voice acting, and this game actually got me into the top of voice actors. So it changed her life and everything. So it's very interesting to know this behind of the scenes for a video game. So yeah, I like adventure games. I like puzzle games, racing games, for example, driving cars or driving airplanes or simulators. You know.
Mhm.
Um, what else do I like? I used to like Guitar Hero, which is a
Mhm.
game. that you play with a guitar,
Yes.
but but the last game came out broken. People complain about the game. I have the guitar. The guitar actually broke after I played for a week. So it's not a real guitar. So it's just a plastic guitar that has buttons that you press. But the game was very good because I mean you were emulating like you were playing a guitar for
Hmm.
real. But yeah, rhythm games are also very good. And I also have a lot of fun, a lot of video games on my phone. So like puzzles, not Candy Crush. Uh-uh. And
No.
like I,
No, Candy Crush, no.
yeah, I like more complex games. But yeah, that's basically it.
Very good. I have a lot of things to learn about video games. You talk with a big emotion about this
And
topic.
yeah, people have told me like,
Because you are identifying with it.
yeah, people tell me that when I talk about video games, they can feel my passion about video
Yes,
games. So.
I can see it. Okay, I I will send a link.
Oh my God, who is texting? Jeez. 7 video games.
Okay. Um, we have to see and listen the video.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes, 20 seconds, and after that, make a summary. 5 minutes for making a summary. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
When you finish, please tell me.
All right. All right. I'll be back.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, so
Okay.
so you want me to summarize, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the video is talking about like the biggest games and the more commercial. Uh, from their perspective, these are the games that actually changed the world of video gaming. So the first one was Pong, which was released in 1972. I honestly didn't have a chance to play that game because I wasn't born. I maybe a little bit, but it was just the two rectangles going through the screen and yeah, like playing ping pong.
Mm-hmm.
So what they were saying is that it actually tested reflexes and nerves. So people will be tested how to play this video game by the way that they react to the speed of the ball. Because if I remember correctly, it used to gain speed when you answer or hit the ball with the rectangle. So yeah, it was measuring reflexes and nerves. The next game that came out was Space Invaders. I do remember that one. It was on the 2600 console. It was just one joystick and one button. So you were moving the joystick and trying to kill all these aliens from a ship. It became very popular. Uh, but again, I didn't have a lot of experience with that game because I was too little. The next thing that came out and became big for gamers was Pac-Man, which
Mm-hmm.
Pac-Man still exists, and there's he actually has a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Pac-Man has been like crazy big, and has evolved, has different kind of games. Um, but what they were saying is that Pac-Man was actually the first real character that was developed into the gaming industry, and it of course became popular because it was different. It was teaching strategy, um, how to get all the cookies without being killed by the ghosts and things like that. So the game was actually very different, and it was a great step for evolution of gaming. Then Mario Bros came out. Mario Bros is still popular to this day. For the Switch console, most of the games are related to Mario. So I do spend a lot of time playing video games, or I did spend a lot of time playing Mario Bros. It was like one of the first games that I started playing. So it was this plumber trying to get a princess from the past. And there are too many variations of the games nowadays. Now of the game nowadays. So there's Mario Party, which is so fun. It's like playing um, with dices and counting spots. I don't know how the game is called in English. It's like escalera or parques.
Mm-hmm.
So you throw the dice, you get a number, you move forward certain steps, and then there are mini games. Uh, so you have to the person that finishes the um, the board, it's the one that's gonna win. But you also need to win the mini games to be able to move forward. So it's actually very fun, and one game can last like 2 hours. Um, so yeah, Mario Bros is still popular to this day. People love it. I do love Mario as well. Then they were talking about Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider, as I was telling you, it's been
Mm-hmm.
like 22 years. It was the first female character um, that came into the industry. So they were saying that for some people, maybe Lara Croft is just a sexualized woman for men, but that's not true. Like nowadays, it's more about women empowerment. Like she taking uh, everything on her hands and not letting people step on her. So she's like showing the world that she's badass and that she can do things and she can learn and yeah, I mean the perspective of Lara Croft has changed over the years, so people are not seeing her just as a sexualized character, but also as a woman that has a lot of power, and she is showing people that she can do a lot of things. So that's actually very nice. Then uh, well, they were saying also that Lara Croft became the first icon in the game industry. Not only
Mm-hmm.
because it's the first character, women character, but because of all the things that she was bringing to the world. Now, after that, they were talking about World of Warcraft. I honestly have never played the game, but I know people who does play or who does play the game, and they spend a lot of time doing it. This game is known for micro purchases. So if you want to evolve your character or if you want to move forward and be bigger within the world, you need to pay for different stuff.
Okay.
So even though the game is free, you need to pay for that's micro purchases. That's what I don't like about video games. I can pay for a video game, but that's it. Like just charge for the game, and I don't have to pay for anything else. But nowadays, the game industry has become a little bit disturbing for us because of the micro purchasing. You need, if you want to pass certain areas, then you need a certain skill, but that certain skill is like $2, so you have to pay for it. And at the end, you're paying a lot of money for just to get through a game. So I don't like that kind of games, you know. And World of Warcraft is one of those. The thing is
Uh,
that it became like one of the first social games. So you were playing against other people connected to the server. So it wasn't just your friend next to you, which it was before. It was actually a game connecting to a server, and people all over the world were connected to the game. So you were actually playing with people that you didn't even know. It was one of the first games that brought the online gaming to the market. And the difference that it was bringing was also that you could create avatars. So you could
mhm.
create your own character and evolve it, assign skills, and make it bigger. And it wasn't seen before in other video games. And the other one is Minecraft, which I also don't like. But Minecraft is about creating worlds, destroying them, or doing whatever you want with little cubes. It became very popular. If you start playing Minecraft, you're going to see a lot of kids, like a lot. You can play online, but if you start talking, you're going to start hearing kids. And when you ask, like, "Hey, how old are you?" and they will be there, "I'm 6, I'm 7," or something like that. Shouldn't you be in school or something like that? Why are you playing games? It's a little bit annoying when you play with little kids, although
Uh-huh.
sometimes they're very good at playing. But yeah, I mean, this game, I don't like it because of the amount of kids that you play with.
But
Um,
but in this career, for example, this kind of games is a tool, no?
um, I
Yeah.
guess, I don't know. But,
People, children can learn
oh
about
yeah,
anything playing this game in Craft, no?
well, what they were saying is that this game is actually showing people about physics, uh, or teaching them physics or angles and I don't know. Maybe I think every game is instructive,
Hmm.
because they, even though they're not teaching you directly something, um, your subconscious will get the information that the game is trying to provide. So you will learn a different skill in every game. Like For example, Pong, that was measuring your ability to react. Um, Even if the game wasn't telling you like, hey, you need to learn this skill, you will be learning it by playing the game. So every game is instructive. Minecraft can, I don't know, teach you how to create different things by learning, I don't know, how to put angles, or if something is not put correctly, then it will fall apart. You know, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know because I don't know the game. The only game that I know is Mario because I played many years ago, but I don't know Tomb
Yeah,
Raider. I don't know anything about that.
Tomb Raider is so amazing. You should try to play it. I have the last three of the games, and the evolution from what it was before to what it is now, it's outstanding. Because before Tomb Raider was more about Lara trying to get through labyrinths and solving puzzles, but there wasn't a background story. You
Hmm.
knew who Lara was, you knew that she was an archaeologist, you knew that her father had died because of a company called, um, what's the name? Trinity, because they're looking for the source of the eternal life.
Hmm.
But that was just something that they told you on the story of the game, but you weren't playing related to the story. Now, when the last consoles came out, this company, um, I don't remember the name of the company that made the game. I'm not sure if it's Activision. Give me one second. It's actually Square Enix, the company that created the game. They decided that Lara was so much more than that, and that they could do something more interesting when playing the game, and they started actually developing the story. So in the first video game, which is this one, is Tomb Raider: The Definitive Edition.
Hmm.
She knows that her father was killed by Trinity because he was finding uh, some archaeological stones or hieroglyphics, and he left a map for her telling her that she needed to finish his job. So she went into a journey, and she went into a mountain to try to find what her father was looking for. And in the game, she kills someone for the first time ever.
Hmm.
So when she do that, when she killed this person, you can see her character going into a really bad situation because her brain was telling her like, you're a killer now, so what are you going to do? And she was crying, trembling, and like screaming like, why did I kill this person? Now what am I going to do? What's going to happen with me? And all these, I mean, you have to go through a lot of things, and seeing the character develop every time that she moves forward. um, then she figures out that her stepmother was working against her father, so she was working with Trinity. So he actually got killed because she gave the information to Trinity about what he was doing, and then she's like, "I'm going to kill you. You kill my father." So at the end, it's easier for her to kill people, but she's killing people because she needs to protect herself and her friends. That's what she says. But I mean, killing is killing.
Mm. Then
But
I understand that people can feel um, like the character are feeling.
yeah, sometimes. I mean, for example, sometimes the game shows that Lara is scared because there are a lot of people trying to kill her, and you actually get scared because you don't want to get killed. But you're not Laura, you're just moving her. but you get into this war and you think that you're there, so you need to run and you get scared like, oh my god, this guy is going to kill me, so you need to like try to hide, but you know you're not inside the game, so it's different. It's actually very weird when you feel these kind of emotions in different situations.
Mm, very interesting.
It
When
is
I
good.
have time, you have to buy the game. Yes,
Yes, of course. Each game is has a price.
but
When they're
only
new,
once. Only once.
it depends on the game. So,
Uh, Tomb Raider, for example.
For example, Tomb Raider. Every game nowadays have three editions.
Oh.
So there's the basic edition, which will give you access to the complete map and the complete story, but that's it. The uh, I don't remember the name of the second edition. Is like upgraded edition or something like that. Will give you like clothing or different guns or access to a different part of the map that is not available for the standard edition. But for example, with Tomb Raider, I always buy the unlimited edition, which contains everything. So I buy it because this game also have access to a server to play a multiplayer game. But the main idea is that there are different kind of tombs that they're not to be unlocked. You need to purchase them. So if you want access to those tombs, which are challenge tombs, you need to pay for it. So it's easier to buy the complete game than just buying the standard and then buying the package afterwards because it's going to be more expensive. So, for example, with the last game of Tomb Raider, I paid $89, which
Mm-hmm.
was like 260,000 pesos. But that gave me access to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Normal game usually comes out as $60. Um, Basically, here, when a game comes out, if you buy it in pesos, you're paying for a standard game like 250,000. So for me, it's easier to buy it in dollars. Not now. It was a couple of months and years ago, but not now because dollar is too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's it. You pay $60 and you don't have to pay for anything else, or pay for the complete game and you don't have to pay for anything else. But for
Mm-hmm.
example, there's this game called Call of Duty or Call of Duty, which is a shooting game, and you pay $60 or $100 for the complete game, and this will give you some DLC packages that can be installed on the game and access to different maps. But this game is so popular that every 3 months they're releasing a different map, and each map costs like $30. Uh, so I don't like that because you pay $100 for a full package, but then 3 months after they're releasing a new map and they're charging again $30, and then they
Mm-hmm.
change and
Oh.
create a new map, and then you pay another $30. So for playing the same game, you're actually spending like 500, $700.
Mm-hmm.
That's micro purchasing. Um, Overwatch, for example, I paid $59 and I've been playing the game for 3 years and I haven't spent any money on it.
Okay.
So,
And do you need an special computer for playing this game?
yeah, so there are three forms of playing video games. You can play on a computer, but the computer needs to have certain capacity on the RAM memory. So it has to be at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. Uh, it has to have a graphic card, which is NVIDIA, but it has to be one of the
Mm-hmm.
biggest ones. So NVIDIA has different capacities for video managing. So since nowadays games are 4K and are working on 60 frames per second, they're very fast. And if you don't have a graphic card on your computer that can renderize the images, then the computer is not going to run the game. Or if it's going to run it, it's not going to visually look very nice, you know? So
Mm,
you have to have a very good computer. And if you look online for a gaming computer, they're expensive. They're like 4 or 5 million Colombian pesos, and that's a basic one,
I'm basic.
a, a basic for gaming. But I don't play video games on console. Sorry, on PC. So there's the most the two most popular consoles are PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
and Xbox. So I own an Xbox. I usually love playing on Xbox because of the controller. The controller is bigger and it's more ergonomical. So I don't get tired because playing video games for a long period of time can get your fingers stuck. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
exercise a lot your fingers and stretch them so you don't get like triggered. And the PlayStation controllers are too small for me, so I don't really feel comfortable with it. And actually prefer Microsoft than Sony. So you can buy a PlayStation or an Xbox console, or you can buy a computer, and the games are going to be available for all of them.
Okay.
The
Very.
other
Mm,
thing, yeah, and the other thing that you can keep in mind is that sometimes some games are exclusive. So, for example, there's Halo, which is a shooting game, and it's only available for Xbox. So,
okay.
if someone has a PlayStation and wants to play the game, they're not going to find it.
Mm,
For PlayStation, one of the most popular games, and it's an awesome game. It's called God of War, and it's only available for PlayStation. So no one
uh,
can play it on a PC or on an Xbox um, computer. What is it?
mm,
So yeah, the exclusive games. People sometimes buy consoles thinking on the exclusivity. So if you don't really like what Microsoft is offering as exclusive games, then they will go to PlayStation. And the other thing is that for accessing the server, PlayStation and Microsoft charge a monthly fee. So you have to have a subscription to be able to play online. So
a
a part of
subscription, but you have to pay monthly. Yes.
no, you actually I pay annually.
Ah, okay.
So
How
so
much?
for Xbox I pay 160,000 Colombian pesos. It's not very expensive, and I will have 48 free games annually. They will
Mm-hmm.
give me 3 or 4 games every month for free, and I will have access to the server all the year, so I
Mm-hmm.
can play online games and talk to people. And for PlayStation, I think it's the same. I think it's $60. So um, it's the same. So if you don't buy the subscription, you can play games, but they are not going to connect to a server. So if it's an
Mm-hmm.
online game, you cannot actually play it unless you buy the subscription.
No, it's not expensive for a year, not.
It is not, but people sometimes is like, okay, I want to buy a console, so a console is like 1,200,000 pesos,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to buy the game, which is $60 or 250,000, and then I have to buy a subscription. So no, you know. Um, but once you're into the gaming situation, you don't really care. I bought a controller yesterday, and I'm going to show you because I'm very happy. So this is a new controller that I got yesterday.
Okay.
It's
And
cute.
what is the difference with the last control?
The last one that I had
Yes,
is just the color.
just the color.
But it's the same thing. It's just the color is different. I think it's cuter. So yeah, that's what you do when you love video gaming.
Yes. So much. You love you love this thing so much.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I don't feel the same, but it's good for you.
Thank you.
Okay, continue with the class. This is a text.
A test.
Please open the link, and I'm going to open the link in my computer too.
Okay, do you want me to
It has
share my
5
screen?
points, positive points about video games. We have read. If you are agree, I can read the number 1 and the number 4, and you can read the others.
Okay.
Okay, I begin. 1. Practice your reading skill. Oh, sorry, I forget the name. How video games can help you learn English.
Uh-huh.
Practice your reading skills. It's no wonder reading quickly and accurately in another language is challenging. Around 10% of people struggle to learn reading skill in their first language. A team of researchers from the University of Padua were inspired by this fact to see whether video games could help children who have difficulty reading. The findings were fascinating. Nine sessions of playing video games for 80 minutes a day improved the children's reading ability more than a year of traditional learning methods. Of course, video games have to contain enough text to make them worth playing. But if you choose the right kind of game, imagine how quickly your reading skill could improve. I say one and what? What is the other number that
You
I
said
have to
what?
read?
You said 1 and 4. So do you
Um,
want me to continue or do you want to do the 4?
okay. Continue, please. Yes, Jonathan, please.
Okay, so the 2 is become a better listener. Uh, the days the days of text-based video games are behind us. Games nowadays are often voiced by talented actors with a variety of accents, so playing games exposes you to a lot of natural English. The best way to practice listening is to listen to something you find interesting, so find a game that you like and your listening skills will improve at a remarkable rate. 3. Improve one skill and you improve them all. You never develop one language skill in isolation. Becoming a better reader makes you a better writer because you develop an instinct for what looks right. Becoming a better listener makes you a better speaker because you hear natural pronunciation. Both reading and listening to English can expand your vocabulary and grammar. If you need to turn on the subtitles, don't feel embarrassed. Many native speakers do the same, so they don't miss any essential information. And reading while listening will help you absorb more language.
Okay, get better at multitasking. Communication involves multitasking. You're listening to the other person and thinking about how to express what you want to say. People do this naturally in their first language. Understandably, it's more difficult in a second language because you need to work harder to think of the words you need. A research team at California State University studied whether action video games can improve multitasking. They found that 5 hours of gaming a week for 10 weeks increased people's ability to concentrate on more things at the same time. This comes as no surprise because video games involve a lot of concentration. That's why you can play them for hours and feel like you've been playing for 20 minutes. So play video games and you'll get better at concentrating on more than one thing. This means you'll get better at communicating spontaneously.
Take a break. Most people associate language learning with endless list of vocabulary. Sitting at a desk for hours and tests that make your blood pressure go through the roof. Sorry, let me start over. Most people associate language learning with endless lists of vocabulary, sitting at a desk for hours, and tests that make your blood pressure go through the roof. But learning doesn't need to be done that way. You'll want to learn more often and for longer if learning is enjoyable. You'll never put off playing a video game because it's fun, but you'll hear and read so much useful vocabulary in context. Spend an hour a day gaming and you'll start to notice your English improving, all because of something you did in your free time. That is actually true.
Yes, as you have more experience with this, please tell me what do you think about this article?
Uh, well, I cannot really tell people that I learned English by playing video games, but I know a lot of people who did. Um, it of course have has helped me improve my vocabulary, my listening skills, and reading.
Hmm.
Um, but I didn't actually learn. I know people that learned English from zero just by playing video games, and they're not very good at talking because while playing video games, you don't really need to talk. But they are very good at listening and finding words and understanding what it means, and that's actually very impressive. So uh, it is true. Playing video games is the same as listening to a song or watching a TV show with the subtitles in English. It's exactly the same. So you will learn vocabulary, you will hear pronunciation from different perspectives, different accents, which is also true. Um, because if a character needs to be Mexican, for example, but Mexican is speaking in English, they will, of course, have an accent. If they're Indian, if they're Arabian, I don't know, a character will have an accent. So it's important for you to not get structure to learn only how American people speak or British people speak, because in the real world, you're going to be challenged by, let's say, Chinese people. Understanding Chinese people is a hassle. It's impossible.
Yes. For me,
I,
Chinese and Indian. Oh,
and
it's very
Indian
difficult.
people, yes, and I can tell you this because I've worked. I told you, like working as a support agent, giving support worldwide. I
Hmm.
used to have calls from anywhere, like getting from Scotia or Russian people speaking English. It's impossible. But Chinese and Indian are the worst. So games will also help you with that, like getting this ability of trying to understand what customers are saying or people in relation to anything they're saying, because you will be exposed to these kind of situations in real life. So yeah, these actually are very good points that they're making. It's true.
Maybe use this kind of games for improving the skills. It's a good tool in classes.
Yeah, I mean, but it's difficult. For example, I mean, a class. What does a class last? Like 50 minutes at the most.
But 50 minutes is a big help when people don't don't know anything about the language.
I mean, yeah, but then you will have to have one console, one screen, and then choose who is going to play. Because I mean, the school is not going to give you 50 consoles so you can have in one classroom so everybody's playing video games.
No, at the school, no. Maybe if you want to teach for a little child in a
Oh, so personalized.
an individual class as a
Yeah,
tool for a moment, maybe
yeah, it can work.
it can work. Yes, it's a positive way to see the video games.
Yeah, it can work. But not everybody think video games are good. My mom still thinks like, hey, you spend a lot of time playing video games, you're gonna become stupid. I'm like, I'm actually getting smarter.
Okay. Okay, Jonathan, I have more activities, but I know that activities are easier for you.
Okay.
That's why, as always, I learned from you a lot of. In each class, I learned from you a lot.
I'm
Then,
glad to hear that.
no, for me, it's a pleasure to work with you.
No, thank
Then I consider the class is over. I hope you enjoy a lot of your new control and and
I
play.
actually I don't know why I got the control because I need to do a lot of homework, so I cannot play. But I will try to enjoy it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for being with me tonight and for sharing your time with me.
No problem. Thank you for being there as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.
Ay,